Welcome to the podcast that questions everything, from conspiracies to philosophy, from science to religion. We will be looking at the construct of the illusion, and as always, we will question everything. Hello and welcome to Everything's an Illusion, a podcast where we question everything. I'm your host, Rob Wallace. Once again, I'm joined by the bearded master of sci-fi, Mr. Greg Andrew. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. Happy New Year to yourself.
Happy New Year to yourself. Happy New Year to the listeners. And what a fantastic year 2015 was, and what a fantastic year 2016 is going to be. And talking about fantastic years, I'm just going to jump into this. If you've never listened to a podcast before, this is a pondering your navel, so we just like table tennis back and forth, talk about some interesting things which have been grabbing our attention in the last while, wee while. And talking about 2016, Greg, I don't know if you've seen the stuff that's happening. It's going to be happening in Glasgow in 2016 for a whole year as an art project called the Glasgow Effect.
I think the Twitter sphere and the Facebook sphere and the creative circle that is around in the Scottish area, and especially in Glasgow, exploded on the 1st of January when this began, and it kind of gained momentum and notoriety within a couple of days. And
just shows you how passionate we are for art.
Well, I think that's, I'll quickly explain to the lovely listening audience what the Glasgow Effect is.
Aye, but please do.
Right, so the original connotation for the Glasgow Effect is it refers to, in inverted commas, unexplained poor health and low life expectancy in Glasgow when matched up beside other cities within a very similar circumstance. Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Glasgow, for some reason that I'm sure they're doing very many interesting studies on, there's a lot lower life expectancy, a lot lower poorer health. So that's the kind of terminology that effect had in studies have shown. So they can't explain it. It's called the Glasgow Effect. So artist who resides in Glasgow is starting a year-long art project. It's an action research project, a durational performance. The artist, Ellie Harrison, will be taking on this thing, and she's called it the Glasgow Effect. And what it will entail will be, for a whole year, she will not travel outside Greater Glasgow, except in the event of ill health or the death of a close relative or friend. And through this, she's hoping to get several, several explanations, or through her art over the years, she will experience certain things which she's blogging about on a blog on Tumblr, and she will create artistic and academic findings, possibly.
So that to me sounds quite normal in terms of an art book. So what's the fuss about?
Well, as you say, I'm not 100% up in my modern art or my this sort of.
You're not?
I'm not. I
personally like a bit of blue tack stuck on a wall.
Yeah.
And I like to read the 10,000 word essay that comes along with a bit of blue tack stuck to the wall to explain why that bit of blue tack stuck to the wall is in fact art.
So the experiment was kind of processed through Creative Scotland, which is the arts funding council people, the government body within the region of Scotland that deals with all funding applications and the divvying up of money towards projects they process and accept and feel are valid enough to get money. So government public funded money, and the artist Ellie Harrison was awarded £15,000 towards this project.
So on the Creative Scotland's website, you can apply up to 15, over 15, or over 100,000 for your art projects. And I think it's the Open Project Fund.
Yeah. So the experiment will enable her, the artist Ellie, to cut her carbon footprint and increase her sense of belonging by encouraging her to seek out and create, inverted commas, local opportunities, testing what becomes possible when she invests all her ideas, time and energy within the city where she lives.
See, that to me, right, see the concept and the idea of what she's doing, i.e. she's a performance artist. So performance artists, unlike normal artists, performers usually need to travel. So if you're a comedian, a musician, a performance artist of any kind, you usually have to travel about on tour to get gigs at different venues to basically supplement your income as a barmaid or working in a library or a pub or whatever. Yep. But I think the big stooshy for me in terms of what I've been reading and putting my own kind of thing in this is this particular artist is a lecturer.
Yep.
So she's either graduated or I think she has graduated. She works at Duncan Johnson,
the Art and Design College
in Dundee. She's been awarded £15,000 to see if she can create art, and if Glasgow as a city is big enough to provide her with enough varying venues to provide an income. Now, that to me is a sort of test you would do if you've just decided, look, you know what, I'm fed up working in a fucking pub, I'm an artist, I'm going to go and attack this city. You don't have the cash to go out with, etc. You're just going to make it happen. You're going to adapt to your circumstance, and you're going to be somebody who pursues a dream. But the whole idea of getting 15 grand to supplement that, to pay for, I don't know, materials, to pay for training, to pay somebody to provide technical assistance if needed for your performance art, etc., when in fact she's stated on her Tumblr that 15 grand, she's in negotiations with Duncan Jordan, her employer, to give them the 15 grand so that she can have the year where she gets the year to be a performing artist whilst being paid by the university, the lecturer's wage. So basically she's got cash, she's well educated in terms of she's got the artistic skills, she teaches the stuff. So what exactly is there to gain from this? Whereas that 15 grand for me could be used throughout deprived communities within Scotland, inspiring young people and showing them that art isn't just for the educated middle classes, that art is something that can inspire and bring out the best in everybody. It's a rich part of middle and upper class society, and it's kind of bypassed in working class society unless your family puts it upon you. They bypass it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll come back. There's a couple of other points I made, but to come back to you in that point,
that was a kind of blurt there, and I was like,
"Oh, it's okay." The two things have kind of curtailed it. She's part of some, I don't know if it's some sort of performance group or some sort of artistic movement within the artistic community, and they're doing something with like renewable energies that generates cash, and these are art projects, and
I said they had
a lot of our time is going to be spent doing.
Sorry to jump in there, but they had a renewable energy. I watched a few of their videos, renewable energy kind of thing, and they had this a mascot, if you like, which was essentially a big tall balloon floating about as a mascot for renewable energy, but it was run off an electric fan. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. That kind of, you could have fucking pedalled a bike
Yeah.
and fucking powered that thing to make the point of renewable energy.
So I think that so a lot of information I got from it was from a Facebook page somebody had directed me to. The Facebook page is one of those events you set up on Facebook. We've all been on Facebook, and it's called the Glasgow Effect, and it's set up by the artist, and obviously with the help of possibly this artistic group. And their cover picture was chips, deep fried chips.
I bet you that wasn't even her picture.
I highly doubt it. I mean, so straight from there.
That's a very stereotypical image.
It's a very stereotypical idea of the Glasgow Effect, which has a new title for this art project, art installation, because it was called something else when it was actually applied for funding. So it has come across very much that middle class. I'm not saying this is how it is at all, because obviously the project hasn't happened or anything, but it does seem to me that, and a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, I've came across the idea that this does seem to be like a kind of, that's a jibe at the Glasgow Effect, which is obviously a real thing. It's the thing we talked about at the top of the topic.
Yep.
It's this idea that there's an unexplained thing happens in this part of Scotland where poor health and low life expectancy is rife throughout Glasgow and the greater Glasgow area. So I think that people took umbrage at that. The £15,000 given, funded by Creative Scotland, I think that money seen by people within Glasgow, born within Glasgow, artists struggling themselves in Glasgow, felt that money was being wasted in this project and their possible art projects had maybe funding cut. You kind of countered that balance. The terminology within the Facebook page event, trying to limit a sustainable practice and challenge to demand travel places upon a successful artist or academic within the greater Glasgow area without leaving it, except with an event of ill health or death of a close relative event. I mean, these are exceptions. I mean, there are people. I mean, Greater Glasgow is a huge area. That, to me, and I work up in Glasgow, I go to several inverted commas artistic events throughout Glasgow. The scene within Glasgow at the Contemporary Arts Centre or the GMAC Film Centre, there's a lot of photography goes on, there's the Museum of Modern Art, there's the Charles Rennie Mackintosh, the art school, and there's the conservatoire for all the acting and music. I mean, Glasgow is a buzzing place for artists.
I know, like, put it for me, again, I work for myself, robwallacemedia.com, and I create media. I create video, graphics, photography, motion graphics, audio, anything that my clients want. I'm based within Glasgow, and you could essentially say I'm going to try and, without leaving Glasgow, create all of my income from the Glasgow area for an experiment for 1 year. No, that's my fucking reality. That's my life, and I don't get 15 grand benefit from somebody from the public purse to see if it's achievable. Of course it's achievable. If you want something to happen, you will make it happen. If she's a performance artist with a goal and a mission, and she's obviously highly educated and she's done loads of projects, so she's focused, she's used to getting outcomes happening. In fact, the fact that she got the fucking funding for the CCA in the first place means that she knows how to articulate herself, she knows how to fucking pull the strings, she's intelligent, all this sort of stuff. Then there's absolutely no chance that she could not succeed.
Yeah.
It's just that, to me, it's a kind of ridiculous use of the 15 grand when I know for a fact people who have applied for funding to the creative grant system in Scotland for what I would see as kind of deprived areas and using the funding for positive things to inspire folk who don't get this chance from their parents or from their kind of family to get creative. getting told to fuck off, and then handing money out to somebody who's a well-established artist and is already knows what art is, and etc. etc.
Well, I mean, art funding is a very kind of tricky thing to navigate, and for people like us, for our background, we have applied a couple of times for funding for short film stuff, things like that. I know a couple of friends who have applied for stuff regarding theatre. Some have been successful, some have been unsuccessful. I think Creative Scotland have quite a bad reputation at the moment when it comes to where they place their funding. When I say perceived, I think you could make a very, very, very valid case that the funding and how they manage themselves hasn't been so great. And there was that letter from all those artists. Was it last year? Remember, it was sent to the Daily Record and sent to Creative Scotland and all that stuff. Like 100 Scottish artists signed this petition towards Creative Scotland. So they haven't been painted in the best light. This art project has come to the light of the artistic community within Glasgow. They take umbrage with it. You look at the criteria set out in it, £15,000 to stay in Glasgow for a year. There's the wee woman that cleans the toilets at the train station, the man that sweeps the floor at the local school, the Jarries. These guys will be making 15 grand.
I'm working fucking goddamn hard for it, aye.
You know what I mean? There's also people who get, in my opinion, a very bad rap with the press, but we have high unemployment, high drug dependency, there's areas within the greater Glasgow diameter that are affected badly by these social issues. These are people who don't earn 15 grand a year. They barely leave a scheme to live in within the greater Glasgow area for less than 15 grand a year. It's just, and then the idea that the Facebook page takes a kind of almost sarcastic use of the Glasgow effect. I think the Glasgow effect she's trying to see is, I am an artist person, I'm given free rein for a whole year to do whatever I want, work on my kind of lefty, fanciful, renewable energy sources that will bring income, and I'll pass that back out to other anarchistic, cool, hipster, arty folk. And that's, to me, taking a kind of, that's the Glasgow effect. No, that's not the Glasgow effect. The real Glasgow effect affects thousands of people within that greater city limit. And it's not a laughing matter, and it's not something that can be kind of jovially joked about.
The Glasgow effect could be summed up as the retirement age is higher than a life expectancy age.
Yeah. And then, so I think, so it hit the kind of artistic community, then it hit the kind of wider people who take an interest in art, and then because of the way it's been handled, I think it's hit a kind of like people I see on Facebook who are going on to the Glasgow Effect event and liking it or making a comment about it and putting their, I mean, the Facebook event page was 1,000. So I mean, the last time I looked at it, it was like maybe 10,000 people were interested in going, or 2,000 people were going. All these people were invited. It became a news topic and then spilled over into the main.
The comments are fantastic.
I mean, some of the comments are brutal, and some of then there's.
But there's fantastic.
There's a flip side to that. There's people who come on and who are trying to defend the artist, and I think there is a defence of it there, but the defence does seem to be coming from the kind of art school middle class people who are not affected by, inverted commas, the Glasgow Effect.
I think
have worked their way through the art. I mean,
but take away.
She got funding. Sorry, I was going to say the reason she get funding, and it's people are finding it very hard to get funding, is if you're able to go to these very prestigious art schools. There's not many people where we grew up who did higher art went to these art schools. That's just a fact. It's more or less privileged or semi-privileged people who are able to go
Semi-privileged.
and you know what I mean, and go to these establishments, and within their 4 or 5 years at university, they are shown. I'm pretty sure they will be shown the tricks of the trade. They will be meeting all the people who are in the places, shaking their hands, getting the cards, or the people who are at Creative Scotland are within those departments that give out the funding.
I'm sure that
I've got another one to pick with Creative Scotland.
One second.
Shrouded.
There was something, a couple of things there. One of the things is, as a part of your university, she had to apply. So straight away, as a part of the process, they're learning how to apply, how to make these applications for grants, because modern artists basically are kind of sustain themselves, you know. They don't make money, so they need grants. As you say, there's not a lot of people from kind of Glasgow, the majority, Glasgow's background, applying for these kind of grants and actually getting them. Might have great ideas and stuff, but again, that's not what it's about. But the £15,000 that she's applied for, she's, as I said earlier, she is in debates with the college or uni to donate that money to the college or university so that she can receive her teacher's salary for the year.
Yeah.
Now, she got the money under the, however she filled the form in, saying that it's for this purpose, and here she's trying to switch that money to the college or uni to employ a secondary lecturer to come in and basically assist and take over when she's not there. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's breaking the funding kind of thing.
I think part of the funding package is it cannot be like part of academic research. I'm not 100% sure paid towards to sustain your living. You know what I mean? Like if I say I need to buy paints because I'm going to do a paint, my money's got to be for paints.
So I've got
to sell that painting and make my living off selling the painting, if you know what I mean. It's that kind of,
I've got a couple of suggestions, one observation, one suggestion. The observation is some of the fantastic, witty and creative comments, and even a GoFundMe page and various kind of spoof things, you know, kicking up. Folk are quick-witted in Glasgow, and they're already creating content and artistic content to sort of express their feelings of this project. And the second thing is, I would encourage anybody and everybody who listens to the podcast who has any artistic flavour from whatever background to go onto the website, CCA website,
Creative Scotland website,
Creative Scotland's website, and apply for the Open Project Fund up to £15,000. There's a guide for the form, fill it in, and let's just everybody apply. Now, I mean, that money's there, but the problem with this sort of stuff is most people don't know that money's there. So it's the same folk that apply for the grants. Like this lassie's had hundreds of grants awarded to her. The folk apply for grants because they are privileged, or they have the value in themselves through good education, through a kind of nice family background, whatever. And then there's loads of folk who are creative as fuck who they don't have the value in themselves, the belief that they can apply to these kind of projects and get these kind of funding. There's hundreds of funding available, but people need to start applying for that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get like community drama and political drama and political activism, and I like a lot of the stuff that she stands for, and it's interesting, but it should be, I think, incorporated a different way. You know, like a lot of the stuff she's talking about, renewable resources, she's talking about renewable energy, she's talking about buying local and living local. These are all things that I totally agree with. But
I think something that comes back is on the application form for Creative Scotland, and I think it's the Creative Scotland side here that people, even I think a misguided person would maybe just go, like, this is an artist being a dick and it's fucking take the piss, but Creative Scotland, I think, are probably more to blame the arts, because that was just trying to make art and try to work that system. But it was originally called something, I think, you're just talking like Think Global, Act Local.
Yep.
That was the original title of the project. And if it was the exact same layout and it was called that and it wasn't called the Glasgow Effect, we might not be even having this conversation.
But would
This might be another Create Scotland funding. This would be in a yearly report.
And that's one of the criteria within the application. One of the criteria is
the public.
You have to basically show that you can get the shit out there, that you can get
that.
Aye. So, and that's what she said in one of the blogs or the Facebook post. She says, "Well, I've ticked that and I've ticked that." You know, basically, and that's I'm guessing the whole point of a performance artist is to get in people's faces, you know, and maybe she chose the chips, and the title Glasgow Effect is a very provocative kind of reactionary kind of visual and audio kind of symbology to semiotics, you know, to grab people by and say, pay attention to this more important thing which is about to happen. That could be it, but the mood is slightly different. Right, let's wrap this up and move on to our next ping pong. That's like 20 minutes on a Glasgow Effect, motherfucker.
To be fair, I think my umbrage is more at the kind of the funding cycle, and I think we kind of got into that at the end there, which is quite cool.
Rip it in.
I mean, we've sat in discussion groups and conferences where Creative Scotland have been there, and it's a boys' club.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's who you know, it's who you went to art school with. It's said the struggling writer, director, artist in his chair and his podcast.
And there's nobody by working class dulcet tones. That's for sure. I've never heard that kind of quick-paced Glasgow feverish tones. It's usually a more slower, well-spoken, and it's not about class. It's about understanding your value. But when you have good education and you had a good upbringing, there's a lot about that instills into people their value. I mean, you are worth £40,000 per year. You are worth getting £25,000 in grants to, you know, to perform something. It's about worth, and aye.
I mean, art is of course very subjective, and then I think we can maybe leave it at that.
And if you want to check out any of my art, you can check out the energeticmind.com with spiritual, inspirational and thought-provoking art. Which will get you thinking about life, death and spirituality. Right, I'll fire
we solve the rest of the world's problems then.
That's it. That's it. We've hit the Glasgow Effect. Right, a wee quick one.
Okay, is it you, me?
You.
Me, cool. Right, so just before Christmas, I saw a lovely wee story in the Sunday Herald. It was about a woman in Cardiff who was given a bionic eye.
Oh, nice.
So she was she had something to do with her retina, and it had been deteriorating, and I think 4,000 people in the UK have this disease. So for the age of 5, had been completely blind in her right eye, and then had virtually no vision in her left eye, so it had been affecting both her eyes. But this German company, Retina Implants, have developed this very, very small implant that they placed within her eye. Very complicated and very intricate.
Is retina
retina
implants? Is that retina implants?
Retina,
like a retina, like.
But it's German, so you go retina. I just, you know what? Fuck you.
so can she zoom this motherfucker? Can she zoom it? Does she to her like built-in like predator vision? You know, like heat and stuff. She can see in different spectrums.
Like fucking RoboCop.
Just when you say bionic eye, you know, it's like what you just gave me a fucking standard definition 480p fucking bionic eye. I want fucking 8K heat vision with fucking zoomable features, man. I want like $6 million man or some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I think it's like 3mm across and then 1mm thick, and it's placed at the back of the eye under the retina, damaging it, and then It does its magic, and this lady has been able to. Oh, I don't think she just opens her eyes and she's fucking like, wow, look at me, I could see. It's all different colours and it's like Predator. And she's got that wee voice there, he goes, whoa, whoa, she looks a bit. But, I mean, I just thought that was.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Maybe I could
get Stevie Wonder some of that. He needs it as well.
Fuck Stevie Wonder. My colour deficiency. Maybe there's a chance that they can.
Baby's working on that, pal.
I make a colour bionic eyes for the 1 in 12 males who have a colour deficiency, and I can eventually see this wonder that is green and this wonder that is red.
Yeah.
Which use people who have colour perception claim that these colours are not the colours that I see, and that I see a unified brown spectrum, whereas you see separate red, green and brown. I also see red, green and brown as well, but they tell me I don't, so it's all in the head. That's what I say. I say they're making it up. It's a conspiracy.
So, have I got the wee woman's name here? Just so I can name check her, because she listens in constantly. She's, I think it's Mrs. Lewis. I'm going to say she's from Wales. Gwyneth. So to Gwyneth Lewis.
We'll have to tag her. We'll have to find her and send it on Twitter.
Definitely. So, I mean, I just thought is that what we're now? Fucking curing blindness, that's fucking awesome.
But how good is that? But if anybody is listening who came across this woman's Facebook or Twitter, you know what I mean, post a podcast on there, get it out to her, let her know. I mean,
is it sad that it's a tiny wee thing at the eye that kind of fixes the retina, and then, well, it doesn't fix it, but it sits in front of the retina and kind of brings back your vision, and your brain perceives it and you work it, and it's a gradual process where it's not like the Geordie's visor in Star Trek Next Generation. To be fair, even though that was pretty cool, because
I would rather wear Geordie's visor. That was badass, man.
Right.
And he had Predator style vision. He did, and
you could see all the different spectrums and all that. Aye.
Which is
maybe we can work on that.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're getting a bionic eye, you don't want to be shortchanged with some fucking thing which is obviously, if it's new technology and it is better than zero, yes.
Yeah, maybe they missed that bit out in the story. Mrs. Gwyneth Lewis said afterwards, "I want a fucking bionic eye. This eye's shite."
Can't wait for the upgrade. When's the software firm date?
Sitting there, poking about in the dark. I can see you. Fuck off, Gwyneth.
Waiting for the next update of Android, Kit Kat.
What was that thing you downloaded by accident? Wham Jam?
Wham Jam, it's got Wham Jam on it. Wham Jam, fucking shitty thing that attaches yourself to your browser and fucking, Wham Jam.
Thank you, man. Right, so, to Mrs. Lewis, new eye, awesome. Back to yourself, sir.
Well, as she's downloading the latest Android update for her eye, I also downloaded some Android shit, and it was the Android TV. My girlfriend's brother passed in conversation an app called Kodi, which is a media player app which you can get for Windows, for iOS, for Mac operating system, for Android, etc. And basically it collects, people make some builds and add-ons and stuff, and long of the short is you can basically stream movies, TV, music, everything straight to your telly in the house, and you can get it. You can run it on your phone, I say on your Windows PC, or whatever. You can buy a wee Android TV box or like an Amazon Fire TV stick of that. Load this Kodi app on it, and then load a build like the Beast build or the Splits build or the Wookiee build. And these people have done these amazing things by collecting all of these different streams for the best movies that are just out, the best TV shows, etc. And then you basically stream it through your internet connection, and you can cut the cable or the satellite folk out and
so you just phone up Sky and pay them that way. Just tell them you're getting it for free.
Aye, so no,
and say, here's your money.
You just phone them up and say, I'm cancelling the TV. Aye. Get to fuck. I'm on the free TV, Android TV bandwagon, so that's what I done. 2 weeks of using it, I've cancelled my Sky and upgraded my fibre broadband. I don't watch a lot of TV, like live TV. It's mainly like TV on demand that I choose. So I'll sit and watch like a box set, can whip through, I just watched Ray Donovan, like 3 seasons in a couple of days. So that's the kind of TV watching that I watch. So this kind of Android kind of TV box is like a cheap version of Netflix. Some of the quality is not as good. Obviously there's a lot of problems with streams going down and this kind of thing. When you obviously subscribe to Sky, Virgin, Netflix, etc., there's loads of technicians and various people sorting out all that shit. Whereas with something like the Kodi app, with like say the Beast Build, there's 1 or 2 guys doing what like thousands of people do for Sky. So you're not expecting it to be like totally flawless, but
Yeah.
pretty damn good. The folk are doing some fantastic work. And
But I know you, Rob. I know the kind of guy you are, and you would never watch a film that hasn't come out in the cinema yet.
no, I did.
Sit there and you're like, is it out in the cinema yet?
I had this
It's out in the
discussion
cinema
earlier on with my partner's mother about, but I would rather go to the cinema to see a film. And it's like, well, Star Wars was out recently. I went to the cinema to see Star Wars.
Was it?
Aye, and that's the thing. There is movies like Star Wars and Star Trek and other high quality sci-fi films that demand that I go to the cinema
The theatre experience.
and go there and I sneak in my juice and my 300 weight of cheap Tesco chocolate and I sit there and enjoy the movie with a big sound. But for the mass majority of movies that are coming out, the remake of every 80s and 90s classic film, it's just no worth your cash to go to the cinema. The films are pish. So can watch it on the telly with a remote. You just sit in your fat ass, click the button, booja booja booja, it's on the telly. Sorted. I like that kind of stuff. But the thing about Android TV or using the Kodi kind of app as a media player to get these streams is, this is the future of TV. This whole idea of having a centralised kind of, they stream it, you watch it when it's kind of scheduled, you know. We've already got the catch-up TV and doing your box sets and stuff, but that is the future. This kind of, I want it now, I'm going to search for it, use the whole web to search for the thing that you want to watch and then watch it. You know what I mean? You want to sit there and read a book and listen to a podcast on your telly, boom. I mean, no fannying about. I can't be bothered watching some shit generic BBC documentary again. I've got to listen to fucking Everything's an Illusion podcast and get some real fucking shit in my lugs. That's the stuff we're talking about.
Cool.
So,
Although I would say people of Scotland, check out your local indie house cinemas. GFT in Glasgow is pretty.
oh no, for sure, 100%. Like but that's the real stuff.
But Fast and Furious 8, fuck that shit.
Aye, get in there and support your local communities, your local creatives, all that kind of stuff. You know, that's for sure. But at the same time, no, I mean, Android TV doesn't have, it's no about stealing all the good stuff. Like YouTube, for instance, on the telly, it's essentially the Kodi app is a media player, but it allows your telly to be a smart telly.
Yeah.
So you can do like the other day I watched a World CCTV streams. I'm watching like a panda in China via CCTV, just the panda pen.
Just crossing the road.
Just in a pen, just running about. There was one in Wolf's in a place in Canada.
Yeah.
There was a pub in Ireland with a CCTV outside, and I sat and watched that about 2 a.m. Waiting for some fights and stuff to happen. just like alternatives to watching the same kind of crap that they.
That's not a slur on the Irish, by the way. That was just the only one he could find.
Well, no, it was pretty cool. Like, but like you, I've studied TV. I've got an arts degree and a degree in TV, and it's, most TV's fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? It's designed by our masters to beam into your fucking television and make you docile, whereas the Everything's Illusion podcast is here to make you think. So let's whip on to the next one. What's what you got?
Cody Box is cool.
Check out the Cody app and free TV. Good.
So a couple of things. North Korea's up to no good again, Rob. Oh, waggle my finger at North Korea. What are they up to? What a guy. So they're setting off bombs.
I seen the internet has the trolling has went off.
Oh,
like people. There was one. The guy was saying that he had put tin foil in his microwave, and it had made some flashing, and he's now proclaimed to the world that he's created a hydrogen bomb. That's genius.
Well, I mean, apart from the immense trolling that does happen at the time, Kim Jong-un?
That's
Is that the
man.
one? Kim Jong-il was the last one. That's terrible. Kim Jong-il was the last guy, and Kim Jong-un was his son, and that's him that's in charge. So they're trying to get the hydrogen bomb. And at the moment they've got the atomic bomb. I mean, me and Rob have studied physics in depth, and we know all the terms, but we'll just get the broad strokes for the folk out there. So they're trying to upgrade their nuclear capabilities, and they're doing these tests, and they're doing underground tests, which are causing quite large earthquakes in the top of North Korea. 5.1 was the one that was recorded today or this morning, I think. It was the date's the 6th, so it's probably today, the 6th of January. And this is seen as Kim Jong-il doing the tests and trying to upgrade his nuclear arsenal. The thing that kind of concerned me was it's a case of, right, we know America and that's done all the testing, they did the South Pacific testing, and that's how Godzilla came about, and that was a terrible thing. But we need to should you be creating earthquakes? Really? In fucking North Korea, beside Japan, where there's these tectonic plates and it's a melting pot of volcanoes and earthquake activity, and you're making more of them and bigger ones because, I mean, I don't get North Korea. Explain it to me, Rob, please, thanks.
I suppose the key thing here is not actually North Korea per se.
Yeah.
It's the world's superpower, and they're keeping up with the Joneses, except it's not a latest car, it's not a bigger house, it's not a fancier pair of sneakers, it's weaponry. And the big superpowers, the big players have serious weaponry. They have hydrogen bombs, they have, stupendous nuclear arsenal, in a wee country like North Korea that is kind of hemmed in for the rest of the world in a sense. That's always, if you like, making itself big, like an ape in the jungle, to say, here, I'm here too, don't fuck with me, needs to, or thinks it needs to, continuously attempt to advance its weaponry. Unfortunately, they can't just sail to the other side of the Pacific and do the we used to do, because unlike us, they never conquered most of the planet and could therefore go to the edge of the fucking planet as far away from their own territories and blow shit up with fucking highly radioactive nuclear materials. But it's the name of the game, innit? I think what's scarier, I think what's scarier that recently Putin has stated that he is very sure and very confident that these American allies and NATO allies on his borders, i.e. Poland and a couple of other nations, were again developing advanced biological and chemical weaponry.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty scary, you know what I mean? Because like when these amazing natural killers come about, like the bird flu, etc., the military labs obviously take that shit and back engineer it and work out how it works, and then attempt to make it even stronger, even more effective, and You know, and that's what I'm guessing a lot of these kind of Hollywood movies are based upon.
Yeah.
You know, that shit happens, and obviously the media's telling us that there is, you know, there's a crazy man in North Korea, and he's getting, but I don't think he's that crazy that he's actually going to blow up anything. He doesn't really have the infrastructure. He would get squashed pretty fast, whereas we know that America has bombed motherfuckers in the past, and there is a lot of fronting at the minute between them, Russia and China. I think they're the people that would... they've got the record of using biological, chemical and nuclear weaponry. Nobody else. Them.
It's just, I just thought, creating self-made earthquakes and knowing that's what it was going to do. You know what I mean? If you're testing it, that's... It just seems very... It just seems very... Like in a kind of natural climate of things, just don't create earthquakes. That's Greg's message to North Korea. Stop creating earthquakes.
But if you know what to test, you know, at the end of the day, if you have created that kind of...
I mean, China's right... I mean, it's right near the border of China as well. I mean, China just...
China and Russia.
I think they've condemned it, but they've...
China, Russia, Japan, so...
It really is a kind of case of... China... If it really did affect China, they would stop it. I think that's the kind of case. So it's a whole fucking hornet's nest that will come down on us this year and kill us all. Fucking la-di-da.
And just on China, there's something interesting for 2016. They've scrapped the one baby policy. Scared that they potentially were going to enter an ageing population where there's a reduced workforce, etc., etc.
China, I think.
They've brought back or they've increased and gave the populace the ability to have a second child. Yeah. So they're going to be having a huge, population increase. Well, for the rest of is literally a huge population increase because their population is so big.
Yeah.
You know, the population of Scotland will be getting pumped out in a week. Seriously, but kind of a week.
Yeah, I've got a art thing that I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go to Beijing and they'll leave for a year. See how it goes. Sounds good. So, excellent, man. So
I've got my last topic here,
okay,
which is still again on the kind of China-Asia theme. I don't listen to as much podcast as yourself, Greg, but I'm getting about 2 hours a day of high-quality podcastness. And the latest one that I found is a guy called Rich Carlin. He does common sense kind of podcast, but he does one called Hardcore History. And if you're into history, and the guy's like a proper academic, but he can tell a story at the same time. And he's got various different podcasts. The one that really gripped me and the one I'm listening to is the kind of history and story of Genghis Khan and the Mongols. Now the guy starts with Genghis Khan and moves right through to his grandsons and tells you the whole, using the academic references and historical references and the key historians that wrote this sort of stuff, and he compiles different sources and all that kind of stuff. But see, when you hear about the Mongols, we all hear that Genghis Khan, one of the greatest kind of emperors that ever lived. One of the fucking scariest bad bastards that ever lived, you know? Yeah. This guy was fucking hardcore. He makes ISIS look like a kindergarten party. Some of the things he was doing was just off the charts fucking barbarous, you know? And the kind of loyalty instilled, the kind of fear he instilled, and the way he revolutionised military tactic, and that just through playing the military game that much. You know, gone from Mongolia to fucking Europe on horse through the steeps. Fucking it is. If you like history, I like that one. There's about 8 hours. The Genghis Khan one. I'm running about 6 hours in, and it's fascinating. It's fast paced. It's exciting, and it's full of amazing insights into history that just blows you away. Like the best. obviously this is the best podcast, but it is the best podcast I've ever heard, and I would say it's like up there with like a. Okay, and if I had paid £20 for that audiobook, I would not be disappointed, you know, and it's free. Can't beat that shit now. I mean, it's a better story and better crafted, well written, all the sort of stuff than most of the documentaries you're going to see on the telly, and most of the fucking kind of action flicks you're going to see at the movies. Really detailed, loads of gory, loads of tactical, loads of political, loads of religious. And some of the things, like in the way that the Genghis and his boys get round things, and it explains to you just how barbarous he was, and insane. And
also remember he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, so connection to one of your favourite films.
Oh, be excellent, aye. But that's the thing, you have to listen to this. And,
you're thinking, no, he was there.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few Genghis Khan kind of movies.
Yeah.
And I've read quite a bit about him, because it's a fascinating character that can, you know, come from nowhere, unite his people, take on the most advanced military nation ever, China, and then basically travel across a sea of grass twice the size of the Atlantic on the back of horses, conquer Europe, conquer Russia, fucking conquer every motherfucker, and you know, and unite it. Yeah. Unite his empire for 2 or 3 generations. You know, never been done before, never been done again, will never be done again. Genghis Khan, but a barbarian and a murderous. You know, some of the things just like basically, we're going to sack you. Here's our demands. Give us them. No, okay, kill everybody. Like everybody. Everybody gets killed, and just say they've got fucking 150,000 people to kill. He would divvy them out to his soldiers, and say each of his soldiers, say he had 30,000 troops, each of them would have, you know, what would that be, 20 folk each, 50 folk each, to decapitate, and then their commander would demand that they bring to him 50 ears to show that they've decapitated the 50 folk, and they would do it in front of the others, and they would rape everybody, kill everybody, every cat, every dog, and then they would go back a week later to get anybody that they had missed. And then obviously that would go word of mouth to the next place, and the next place were like, aye, we're going to surrender. Holy fuck, what just happened there? The Mongols are here.
Brutal. I think Steven Spielberg's doing a motion capture cartoon about it.
Well, I think it's like, I've watched a few Chinese films on the Mongols, and it's the historical, the barbarous kind of side of it, where he puts it really in context about how brutal and how advanced. Like, he describes them as they were from a nomadic people on the steppes riding horses. He goes right into the horse skill, the archery skill, the break weight of the bows, all that kind of stuff, to then explain how they fought against the Chinese, the most military advanced, how they came up against settled societies with walls and fortification, how they kind of beat that, and then how they can continuously progress to the fact that they by the end of it, they had written language, they had administration, political administration. You know, they never had, when they were fighting in Europe, they never had like wagons with all their food and all that sort of stuff the way settled people fought. You know, like a war wagon bringing in all the supplies. None of that shit. They rode on their horse, and they could survive.
So I'm trying to remember, what was the dates of Genghis Khan?
Run about William Wallace's time. So run about the 12.
I was watching, I'm reading a book at the moment. The
Crusades were happening.
History of the Crusades by Geoffrey Hindley. So that's a really good bit. And to be fair, some of the stuff that happened. To be fair, the medieval times seemed like a fucking pretty brutally shit place to be in.
Oh no, for sure, but there's one, he tells this fantastic story of the Georgians and how they were sucking up to the Pope, trying to get some shit happening, you know, trying to get accepted and stuff. So they had built a huge army and trained them, etc., to basically go to the Crusades and win favour with the Pope. And it just happened to be that Subadai's scouting party, and this is like, they've just conquered the Persian motherfuckers. They just want to see how far their borders go and who's their new neighbours and who's beyond. And the scouting party comes up against this, well-trained, ready to go to the fucking Holy Lands fucking army, and the scouting party fucking destroys them. This is the scouting party. This isn't the main fucking body of Genghis Khan. This is 30,000 fuck tits. He's 150,000 folk just getting over the grass seas.
So 1162 to 1227. So
amazing.
That's a fair age for back then.
Hardcore history. Dan Carlin, if you get a chance, highly recommend his podcast. Yes.
Will we take one more trip to the moon, my man?
Okay, I like it.
So, over the Christmas period, or if you're not from the kind of Christian side, over the period, a new video came to light, Rob. Once and for all, stating the simple fact that the moon landings were faked, and that the infamous, famous, reclusive director Stanley Kubrick directed them. It was a VHS shoddy copy of him confessing his sin of faking the moon landings. 20-minute video came up online. I don't know, beginning of December, 11th of December, I think. So I don't know if you had the chance to see it. We'll put it in the show notes so folk can see it for itself. Did you see it, Rob?
I did not. I've seen a lot of...
I'll send you the link. You can put it up in the show notes.
Seen folk discuss it, but I've not actually seen it.
Straight from the get-go, two things. One, it's no Stanley Kubrick. And two, it's no Stanley Kubrick. So, a fake video. But I was talking to somebody who listens to the podcast, who'd contacted me about the podcast, just saying, good job, guys. I'll no name drop because I'll leave that a mystery. Folk might think it's a famous person. Might be. You never know.
Might be.
He contacted me, I was talking about filmy stuff, and he said, you seen the Stanley Kubrick confession video? And I'd said I had seen it, and we discussed it before. So it's kind of badly shot in that kind of way where it tries to disguise certain elements to give it that kind of, is it not? And he had kind of said to me that there's a new film coming out soon with Harry Potter's pal, ginger-headed guy Rupert Grint, and the guy for Sons of Anarchy and Hellboy himself, Ron Perlman, and it's about them trying to get Stanley Kubrick to come on board for NASA to try and fake the moon landings, kind of comedy thing. So this is going to be like part of a viral campaign, but it hasn't really hit home. It hasn't really connected as much as we'd hoped. So that was the kind of reason for it being released, is to coincide with this film Moonwalkers, which has been released in January in cinemas near you or in a Cody box in your house.
Yep, exactly.
So again, I think maybe we may return to the moon to discuss the Stanley Kubrick connection, because there's an absolutely brilliant documentary called The Shining Code, which I think is worth their while.
Oh, definitely. And for some folk who have, that we do have a podcast on the moon landings. Was it faked? Was it real? If you've trying to make up your mind, check out that podcast on the page, everythingsillusion.com page, and check out that podcast. So the info is there, or the key theories are highlighted within that podcast.
Yeah. And I felt we'd solved it then, but if obviously people are still going to come back with stuff, we'll just need to reinvestigate it.
Well, that's the thing, and it's not so much as a closed book, being the nature of it. It's always going to have, just like Paul from the Beatles, it was reported recently that Ringo finally came out and said, yes, Paul died and was replaced by AMI5 operative. But that's one for another day as well.
That's another day. But yeah. Also the JFK Sasquatch connection. We'll need to come back. I forgot to come. We'll get that next time.
Definitely.
Don't worry, listeners. We'll definitely get the JFK Sasquatch.
Actually, I think we should create some website and stuff, and maybe some fake footage of JFK Sasquatch and create
I've got the footage. It's not fake.
I think that could be.
But we'll get. We've just run out of time.
Pretty entertaining.
We'll get back to the Sasquatch JFK connection.
So, are we calling that a wrap there then?
But I mean, unless apart from we've discussed that, but we're kind of sci-fi filmy guys. Have you watched anything good over the festive period, or seen anything you could coming up? Looks quite good.
Yep. So obviously I watched Star Wars.
Yep.
Which I thought was really good. I'm not going to go into this in depth because I'll never get you.
No, you won't.
I'll not get you off the podcast. We can maybe do a whole podcast just on that because I've got some things to say that you are not going to like, and
I think there's stuff that could criticise within it, and I'm quite happy.
It's not a criticism of it's more of the direction. No, the actual director's direction. I mean the direction of the new where they're going. So recently I watched Cruise, the new kind of Rambo spin-off.
Right.
No, Rambo, Rocky, Creed, Cruise, the Rambo spin-off, Creed, the Rocky spin-off. It basically was Rocky. It took the classic story, fired it around the son of Apollo Creed, and boom. If you like Rocky movies, you'll probably like it. It was decent. And I watched the Revenant.
Yep.
The new Leonardo DiCaprio. I have never won an Oscar. Who knows why? Because I'm fucking amazing. And that film's pretty good. I like that kind of dark, and what wasn't that dark, but it's about these fur traders and Native American Indians and his will to survive and his will to seek revenge and do what's right. It was pretty good. So both of them are not even out yet. And
how could you have seen them then, Rob? It seems
they were sitting there on my Android TV, and I just assumed that it was good to go.
The Revenant Creed, I think, looked very good. I think I really want to see the Hateful Eight.
I started watching that. Watched it for about 15 minutes.
I thought this is the same Tarantino push.
I've not actually enjoyed a Tarantino movie, well, ever. So maybe Pulp Fiction was alright. Yeah, I watched the first 15-20 minutes and thought, what the fuck's happening here? This is pish.
I watched Star Wars, went to the cinema, IMAX, 3D, day it came out. Returned again, 2D. 2D's much better. Second time you watch it's a lot better as well. I also finally caught up. Have you seen Inside Out, the Pixar film from earlier this year?
Nope.
5-star, possibly film of the year. I would give that definitely a watch. And the trailer for Zootopia, that was part of the 3D experience at IMAX, is a new Disney cartoon. So I'm very cartoon. I do have a child, so I spent a lot of Christmas time watching a lot of cartoons. But I did see the trailer for Zootopia, which was, I think, get the biggest laugh. And Star Wars is very funny in parts. Get the biggest laugh. It was hilarious. So I'm looking forward to that. But as I say, films kind of was all about Star Wars for the Christmas period for me, man. So I've got a big pile to watch. I'm going to go through. I've got Tangerine there to watch as well, which I'm looking forward to watching. I'll let the folk know how good it is.
All filmed on an iPhone.
On the iPhone,
a spectacular film. Yeah, there's a lot of good films out of the minute. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the kind of 2016 oversaturation of comic book movies. I do like the comic book movies.
About soon.
But I'm not really looking forward to that one. I didn't like the trailer. It just looked like a cheese fest.
Captain America, Civil War. Just Batman versus Superman, and that's what I hear you, brother. I hear you.
DC, basically. The DC seem to be a wee bit more stern, a wee bit more adult, a wee bit more darker. The Marvel stuff.
Oh, fuck. Sorry for my language. I watched Ant-Man.
Oh, that was good.
I loved it.
Aye, that was good.
Loved it. It was great.
Aye, it was done again. So there you go. Obviously, Marvel. But aye, tongue in cheek, funny. Yeah, I really enjoyed Ant-Man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Ant-Man as well.
That's probably the best superhero film I've seen from him.
I thought it was better than Avengers this year.
Oh no, it was a lot better
I
than Avengers. Avengers was pish, man. The fighting CGI was comical. You know, it was bad.
So there's films coming up, folks. But yeah, again, we could have spent that time talking about JFK and the Sasquatch, but we'll get back to that. So thank you very much for having me on, Rob. It's been awesome.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And just the good people here, if you did enjoy the podcast and you're listening on, say, iTunes or Podcast Chart or Bloodberry or TuneIn Radio or whoever or however you are listening.
Podcast provider.
If you go to iTunes, if you have iTunes, and give us a 5-star rating and write a description, or a 4-star rating and write a description. But if you go over there and that would be absolutely awesome. That helps us, obviously in the iTunes kind of ratings, helps us get the podcast out there and makes this worthwhile. Also, there's a couple of adverts on the page, the Google ads, banner ads, I get a couple of pennies if you click on them, so feel free to click the shit out of them. Excellent, much appreciated. And yeah, thanks very much for coming on, Greg. The Beard's Massive Sci-Fi.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the 2016, a productive, awesome, creative year. And for all the people out there in podcast land, get out there and make it fucking happen. Shit doesn't happen unless you make it happen. So make 2016 your year, and yeah, be awesome.
Everything is an Illusion is brought to you by RobWallaceMedia.com, award-winning media. TheEnergeticMind.com, inspirational, motivational and thought-provoking art. And Health Made Simple. Buy today, change your life forever. healthmadesimple.info. Thank you, and remember, question everything.